Crimson Desert, they're hiding something. I mean, they went gold, and there's no like real gameplay on console anywhere. That's not true. That's not true. There is gameplay on console. They showed PlayStation 5 gameplay, but people want to know what the frame rate. They won't tell what the optimization is because they said in multiple interviews that they're still optimized, right? They're still optimizing before the game comes out. Big Mo says, I do, but the premium game doesn't mean AAA anymore. Live service can also be salvaged as long as the bonuses are there. Opinion. Cisco says, I'm not lurking. You're lurking. I'm not lurking. You were lurking. I wasn't lurking. What's going on, Cisco? Yeah, for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Right. They were showing footage. They showed footage of the console. Now, they didn't show the Xbox. They didn't show the regular PlayStation, but they did show PlayStation 5 Pro. All right, so let's get to this, right? This is a premium experience. How Crimson Desert is avoiding a microtransaction shop. Pearl Biz has confirmed that its upcoming open-world action-adventure game, Crimson Desert, will skip a traditional monetization model in favor of a one-time purchase. Now, I just want to pause that for a second. The fact that we're here, okay, modern AAA budgets are massive, okay? Recurring revenue is what investors want, right? The live service model is just dominating the industry. If you like it or not, it is what it is. Right now, the question is, we'll skip the traditional monetization. That's not traditional. Traditional is the non-monetization, right? Do you see what's happened here? They flipped it on its head. The industry, the writers, right, will skip the traditional monetization model. The traditional is the non-monetization model. The non-tradition is the monetization model. All right, so Crimson Desert is being developed as a standalone single-player experience and avoids recurring revenue strategies often found in modern gaming. Now, I understand it's modern gaming, but there's a bunch of games out there that don't charge you monetization all the time. Game of the year last year, which was Expedition 33. Another game that sold the most copies just 2 years ago was a single-player game, which is Hogwarts Legacy, okay? Like, there's so many games that are very done, complete, and out that are not charging revenue. That's the traditional. That is the traditional one, right? Now, obviously, there is the Destinies, the Warframes, the First Descendant, as you put, okay, that have recurring revenue and whatnot, but it's there, right? It's just weird to me that they want you to think that the traditional model is the monetization. The highly anticipated title is set to launch on March 19th on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. While the developer is well known for a free-to-play mechanic in the Black Desert, this is a new project is being positioned as a premium title. Fans that have also been closely following the development of Crimson Desert as a title recently reached a major milestone by going gold. Okay, those of you that don't know what gold is, basically it's they've released it. It's ready to go. It's ready to be sold. Right? It's basically that's it. So during a recent interview with YouTube channel Drop Frames, Will Powers, it's a powerful name, isn't it? Will Powers. The director of marketing of Pearl Abyss America addressed questions regarding the game's monetization. Powers stated definitely that Crimson Desert will not feature a cosmetic cash shop. Instead, the studio is leaning in on a pre-order bonuses, exclusive deluxe. Now, I want to make it clear. I saw the pre-order, and I assume, right? Because they had a pre-order stuff and there was cosmetics there, that I was like, oh, down the road they will have cosmetic. Okay, so. Again, when we read these things, I give you my thoughts and opinions as we read them, right? Very, very raw, very honest, okay? And my thoughts can change as we read the article. But I thought they were going to have monetization in this game. Why? One, the Pearl Abyss. Two, they made Crimson Desert, Black Desert Online, okay? And Black Desert Online is a MMO, and it charged a lot of money for microtransaction. So 1 and 1, I was like, 1 and 1 equals 2. And I was like, oh, well, the third one, they're doing microtransactions, so they will be. So I'm glad that I'm wrong, that there's not microtransactions in this game. It says, will not feature cosmetic cash shop. Instead, the studio is leaning on pre-order bonuses, exclusive deluxe/collector's edition cosmetic items, and upcoming expansion packs to support the game. I don't even know what I'm reading anymore. Did they just say, I don't know, chat. I think I'm going to faint. Did they say expansion pass? Expansion packs, not passes? There's no season pass. There's a expansion pass, meaning if I want to buy the game part afterwards, I can just add more game to my game? What? I'm so confused. I thought it was going to be like a season pass, battle pass, some sort of pass, right? He explained that a $69.99 price point is intended to provide a complete experience where players can enjoy the world of Pywell without distraction of microtransactions. These are wins across the board. We're clapping along the board. I can't believe this. I can't believe what I'm reading. Right. According to Powers, the decision stems from a shift in monetization philosophy. He says, quote, this is made to be a premium experience that also you buy and you enjoy the world and not something for microtransactions. Okay, he further clarified that while free-to-play games require secondary revenue streams, a premium tile transaction begins and ends with the initial purchase. Holy Christ. We gotta keep praising this. I can't believe the words coming out of my mouth. Now, what Roadkill said earlier, there's something up, right? Everyone thinks there's something up. And this is the problem, I think, with modern game industry, where they're being very straightforward. And yet, for some reason, a lot of people still think something up. There's something strange about, right? There's something off about this. People can't believe what they're hearing, right? So the scale of the game environment has been primary talking point, with the developer claiming that Crimson Desert playable area is at least twice as large as that of Skyrim. Okay, now every time we look at this, every time we've seen this, we've always compared it to 3 separate games. We've compared it to Skyrim, we've compared it to Red Dead, okay, and we've also compared it to I lost the third one, but we always compare it to Witcher 3 to be specific, right? These are the 3 that we always compare it to. We're like, this is what it reminds us. Like, some people look at it and go, oh, that reminds me of Skyrim, right? Because of the way the world was so big. It reminds you of Witcher 3 because of the camera angle, and that reminds us of Red Dead Redemption because of all the other little things that you can do with inside the world itself, right? A mixture of all 3. So Pywell is divided into 5 distinct regions. It says each offering unique challenges and environmental variety. Powers emphasize that the team is focused on ensuring that the world is incredibly interactive rather than just a vast filled with hidden treasures and complex mechanics. Now, I think a lot of people, what they're worried about with this game, okay, again, we have that thing in the back of our heads. Not all of us. I'm just saying, generalistic, right? On the back of our heads, and we're waiting for that other shoe to drop, right? We're waiting for the other boot to drop. I feel like they're trying to give us an experience like there's still people today that still play Skyrim. There's still people today that are still playing Grand Theft Auto Online. There's still people that they're just playing that one game. And I feel like this is the game that Dragon's Dogma 2 that people thought was going to be. And now this is the game that I think people want, where they can just play the game whenever. You could buy the game and just own the game. So they're moving towards a traditional buy-to-play. Now, wait a minute. They're moving towards a traditional. So which one is it? Which one is it? Who wrote this article? Which one is it, Ashley Turner? Is it traditional monetization, or is it traditional, where is it? Or is it traditional buy-to-play model? Which one's traditional? I'm a little confused by your article now, because you just said that traditional was monetization. Now you're saying traditional is buy-to-play. You can't have both. Which one's traditional? Buy-to-play is traditional, okay? And a significant departure for Pearl Abyss, likely aimed to capturing the audience that enjoys immersive single-player epics. By removing the pressure of a live service economy, the studio is betting on the quality of depth of Crimson Desert's world to drive the game's success. Whether this model persists past this launch window remains to be seen, but for now, it serves as a promising sign for fans' uncompromised RPG adventures. I mean, article, I'm a little, I don't like the way she wrote it as far as the traditional stuff like that, but good information from good old Will Powers. That's a great name, by the way. Great name. So this seems too good to be true, right? This seems too good to be true, but I don't think it is. As I said on GXG and a couple weeks before, everyone's waiting for this game to be like, what's wrong with it? Now, all this sounds fantastic, right? All this sounds fantastic, right? We got a $70 game. They have deluxe editions that you can purchase for extra stuff. There is no battle pass. There's no cosmetic pass. There's no season pass. There's nothing, okay? There's no creeping in, okay? So, like, I can't remember the last game. I can't remember the last game that I bought that was fully complete, that we didn't have to wait for an update, day one patch, or anything like that. Can you guys throw some names out there of games that came out that weren't broke, buggy, and unfinished at launch? Baldur's Gate 3, I would think, would be the closest one. Well, actually, yeah, no, I'll take that back. Expedition 33. Expedition 33 was the last game to come out that wasn't broke, buggy, and unfinished, okay? Baldur's Gate 3 was not broken, buggy, but it was missing a couple things, and they did fix it pretty fast. But that game is massive, right? That game is massive. Yeah, Jason, Expedition 33. Kraken says Elden Ring. Jason says Expedition 33. Mr. Z says, articles assuming traditional is now traditional, writing both live service and AAA pay-once gaming. But they both can't be traditional. They can't both be traditional. Travis says, Baldur's Gate 3 was very rough and buggy at launch. Roadkill says, I haven't thought about video game in forever except 3 days ago when I bought High on Life 2, and the game's buggy, broken mess. Yeah, that's a lot of reasons why I'm not excited about new games, Roadkill. We say it all the time. And this is why I look at Game Pass as sort of like a crutch for us, because we're like, well, if a new game comes out, like a brand new game like that, it's broke, buggy, I really don't play it right away. But then I look at Game Pass, and Space Marines 2 came in 14 months after it launched, and it's on Game Pass. And that game's not broken, buggy, but also it's been 14 months. So, like, Game Pass is good because you can get games that have been out for a while and play them, and they're not broken, buggy messes. And also Game Pass is bad because they also release games that are brand new that you're getting broken, buggy. Just Enough says Expedition 33 and Returnal was very polished, Act 1, but 3 was terrible. Mo says, is it broken, buggy? I heard some things about it, Mo. It's not getting very good rating right now. I don't know if it has to do with the writing because the main writer or the main guy left, and maybe that's why people are saying what they're saying. The last act of Baldur's Gate 3 was horrible at launch. It's very bad. Yeah, so even the best games, right? Even the best games they're still not full. Like, this is why we look at this. We take a snapshot of it, and what they're saying is fantastic, right? So let's say, right, there's no microtransactions. There's nothing about Crimson Desert. It is what it is. Now it just has to come out. Just has to work, right? It just has to work. No day one patch. Well, actually, it could be a day one patch, right? It could be a day one patch. But after the day one patch, when it comes out, it has to work. Not broke, not buggy, not unfinished. Chopper Eric says, honestly, I believe the Crimson Desert is not about a day one patch or a very least some update to it, but it takes nothing away from how much I want to play the game. No, I'm okay with the day one patch. The day one patch is if people you pre-ordered it, but the day one patch is like the last thing they do when it goes live. Fine. It's a week after when you have to put 1,000 updates in. You're like, well, here's some code. We have 200 things here. We'll see you in 3 more weeks. So the update. We hear you. We understand. Like, that's broken buggy. Right now, Crimson Desert, what we've seen looks fantastic, right? We can all admit it looks, if you're interested in it or not, it looks good. But then people are worried about the optimization, right? So optimization is a big part of what this game, where people are like, I don't know. Roadkill says, is Crimson Desert launching on all 3 PC, PlayStation, and Xbox day one? Yes, Roadkill. Sarge says, you are not avoiding a day one patch. No, there's going to be a day one patch for sure. Mr. Z says, that's stupid. Gold should not have day one patch unless there's a server loading issue. All games, traditionally, since they're just putting traditional in front of everything, traditionally, day one patches are normal now, right? Eclipse says, yes, yes, it is, Mo. I know I won't be for you because you can play at 30 frames per second. You also said that Borderlands 3 was optimized. Yeah, and that's another thing. People that can play at 30 frames, and there's people that can't play at 30 frames. So if it comes out at 30 frames per second, and the people that it's very choppy, they promise 60, but it's very choppy. I'm afraid to say that the game is unoptimized and it's not very good. So it would be a broke and buggy launch, right? If it comes out and says it's doing one thing and it doesn't hit that, then that would be a broke buggy. Kraken says, whoa, slow down there, 30. You're saying you want the game to work at launch? That's quite a tall order. I know. Jesse Mack says, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Crimson Desert, everybody are saying is good, big but. Other good games that not very that good at launch. Why that changed is MMO game into a single player game. Well, here's the thing. I think it's been in development long enough because you are right. It was an MMO and it switched to single player. And I think that's why we have what we have and why they're doing so much. But it switched 3 years into the cycle and they've worked on this single player aspect for 7 years. The game's been worked on for 10 years. I just woke up after a 3-day weekend. I need a day one patch. Sarge says, take it easy, Mr. Z. Take your meds. Ease into the day. Lots to be mad about. Let's go out, Chief. All these new games come out broke, buggy, and this is why I don't chase the cash on this game, hoping for a change. The last game that got my cash was God of War Ragnarok, far from broken, buggy. And you know where I stand. I'm all about no pre-orders, no day ones, no full price for a half-assed game, right? I will wait that day. I will wait that week. I will wait that month. You have to prove to me that this game is running and it's good. It looks good. It sounds good. Everything seems like the perfect storm of an actual game happening here, it's just funny to think about because this is how it should be. We shouldn't be taking a microscope to everything going, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be optimized, right? But we are. Here's where we are. Roadkill says these developers must be shaking in their boots if it's not a steady 60 frames. I mean, I just hope people do the same energy level, right? I want people to do the same energy level because Gotham Knights was a good game. It wasn't a great game. It was a good game. But because of 30 frames per second, people are like, it's a shit game. It's a mobile game. It's all this other game. Okay. I just want the same energy level. If this game doesn't come out optimized and it's bad running at 30, and it's only running 30 frames, just want the same people that were consistent that said that game was shit, that this game is also shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. I don't think it's shit if it's 30 frames. I understand people that can't stand the 30 frames, but if they come out and say it's supposed to run at 60 and it doesn't run at 60, well, we put that in the category of broke, buggy, and unfinished. Aku says, Crimson Desert will play good on Xbox and PC. Travis is getting the game on PlayStation 5. Copy will definitely be broken, buggy. Travis says 30 frames per second stable, better than 60 frames per second. Well, the problem is, Travis, you're correct. Stability is better, but 40 frames per second would be better than 30 frames per second. Just saying, right? So if it's 60, but it's consistently at 40, that's better than 30. Not better than this 30, but better than 30. Okay. But the people that can't play at 30 because they get motion sickness and whatever, if they come out and say it needs to run 60 frames per second, it doesn't. Well, then it's broken, buggy. It doesn't matter if it's running stable at 30. It's not running at the 60 that they said it would. Travis says Gotham Knights' biggest issue was not enough villains. Oh, you're saying bosses yeah. I agree with that. Let's see here. Flux between 45 and 60 is way better than stable 30. Right. 100%. But it's still not stable at 60, so it would be broken buggy, right? Mo says, right, 30 frames per second snobs will all shut their mouth when GTA is 30 frames. That's what I'm saying, Mo. Like, if people are giving Gotham Knights shit because it was 30 frames, if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and it's 30 frames, I just want the same energy level of people giving shit to that 30 frames a second, right? And then 4 years later, this game comes out and it's still running 30 frames per second. I just want the same energy level. That's all. Eclipse says 45 is the lowest I will go. Roic says, here's something to think about. People are worried about the game because all the things in it. So what makes this different from GTA 6? I don't hear anyone saying anything like that about it. This is what I'm saying, Roic. I just want the same energy level across the board, okay? For me personally, I'm okay playing a game at 30 frames. I can play games at 30. I can play at 45. I can play at 60. I can play at 120. It doesn't really matter to me, okay? I totally understand, though, that people that once you see the wizard, and the wizard being 60 frames per second, some people cannot go back to 30. They just can't. In their head, they're like, I can't do it. And I totally understand that. Roadkill says, I don't mind if a game has 120 hertz model at 40 frames. That's usually pretty good. Yeah, that's fine, Roadkill. But what I'm saying is if they come out and say the game is supposed to run at 60 and it doesn't run at 60, it runs at like 50 or 40, 45. Yes, it is better than 30, but it's still not doing what they said it was going to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I have a feeling it can hit 60, but it will be at 1080p, which is fine. Sure, as long as it hits 60. If it stays a consistent 60, Jason, 100%. I don't care if it's at 1440, right? I don't care if it's at 8K, 4K, 1080p. If it's running at a consistent frame rate and you get to choose 1080p at 60, fantastic. If it's 4K at 30, okay. Roic says, I'm the same way. Gameplay makes up for it. I'm okay with it. That's exactly how I am. If I'm having fun in the game, like, you'll play it because you're having fun. If you're not having fun, then you'll stop, because if you're having fun, fun outweighs the frame rate issue, right? If you can get past the frame rate issue because you're having fun, you're like, you really don't care, right? It's really like, I have to have it because I'm getting nauseous. But if you're not actually getting nauseous and you play the game, then you're having fun. You're gonna play it. All right. Do we think? Here's the question I have for you guys, because they did talk about a down the road if the game's successful, right? It comes out 10 million copies, 15 million copies. People are buying this game, that they're going to support it down the road, right? With expansion pack and maybe doing an online mode. If they do an online mode, do we start to see the beginning of a shift of the monetization creeping back in? And then at that point, because now they've made the statement of this game is going to have no microtransaction, do they get microtransactions down the road for the online aspect of it? Then does the community spin it because they said that there was no microtransaction, and then all of a sudden they put microtransactions, but it's not for the single player. It's just for the multiplayer aspect. Do we think microtransactions come in if they get a multiplayer version of this? I would think they would have to, right? Because going from a single player game, and again, I'm actually a okay component of this. I've said this with Hogwarts Legacy. I said they should do this with Starfield. I like what they did with Grand Theft Auto Online and what they did with Red Dead Redemption Online. If you're a person that wants to play the single player game, you could buy that game, play the single player game, and never ever go into the online aspect of it, right? So you buy the game, and that's what it is. You get Grand Theft Auto 4, you get Grand Theft Auto 5, you get Red Dead Redemption 2, you get the game. That's what the game is, okay? If they put in, I think Hogwarts Legacy should have done this. I think Hogwarts Legacy should have been a single-player game like it was, and they should have added a online aspect after the fact where people can hang out in Hogwarts, go on missions together, change outfits, whatever. If they want to do microtransactions after that, cool. I'm okay with that, because they've delivered the actual game, and you get to choose if you want to play that game or you want to play the other version of that game online. So if they come out, personally, if they come out with a online version of Crimson Desert, that's after the single player, doesn't cost anything, it's free, okay? Then you can also just jump in, and if you want to buy microtransactions and stuff like that, I'm okay with that. Where do you guys stand on that type of stuff? Yeah, I got nauseous yesterday, just playing Goat Simulator 3. Either the Xbox X is giving me bad frame rate, or my PC is just as better video for my monitor. Yeah, I mean, it could be a little, I don't know. I mean, it could be the Xbox. Eclipse says, what do you mean, the different games? Oh, you're talking about Travis. Jesse Mack says, 30, yes. AI will help them out with that and bring out the online mode. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with that if they do that. My son rolled credits, I think, Mr. Z. I believe my son did. As long as it's cosmetics, that's all that matters to me. If they do a whole Assassin's Creed thing where you can buy XP boosts, I'll be mad. No, I don't think they'll do that. I'm talking, I mean, can you do that in Grand Theft Auto? I haven't played online, and even when I played online, I didn't do any of that. Is there bonus XP, like boosts in online, Grand Theft Auto Online? Kylo says, is there whirl? In their words, I can see them being more pushback if they add micros if online comes out. Also, will be a full MMO or just co-op like Baldur's Gate 3, because Baldur's Gate 3 online is unnecessary. It would be, in my example, I don't know what they're doing. In my example, it would be what Grand Theft Auto Online is or Red Dead Redemption, where you live in the world of Pywell, okay? And you could do whatever you wanted, right? There would be events to go kill bosses. There'll be things that you can go spend. You can go make your house better. You can maybe run a business, right? Like that type of stuff. Like you're just living inside the world. Just Enough says, GTA, you could buy money, and money is needed for a lot of stuff. Needed for a lot of stuff. Can you play? I know I played a lot of stuff, like the business and stuff like that, but is there a boost, like a booster to give you advantages? I know if you make money, you could just run different missions and do that. Jason says, if 60 frames per second didn't matter, then why have people even beginning for years for 60 frames update Bloodborne, and why the modders also made their own patch to unlock the frame? No, it is a big deal. I've never said it's not a big deal. I know you're not talking to me, Jason, but 60 frames for me is not a big deal. I'll play 30, 60, whatever. But it is a big deal for a lot of people, because they're like, it's like, let me give you a wine example, right? Wine is wine for people that don't drink wine. There's a box wine, and then there's a very high-end wine, okay? And for a person that doesn't know wine, you would drink the box wine and say, just as good, because your palate, your eyes, for your tongue, okay, just think that all wine is the same. But once you have a good wine, going back to box wine, you're like, holy shit, like this is disgusting, right? It is what it is. A lot of people could just drink both. They could drink the box wine, they could drink the other wine and be like, it's wine's wine. But other people are like, I'm like that with coffee, right? Coffee for me, I can have a really good coffee, and when I go back to I can't drink a Folgers anymore. I can't drink that stuff anymore. I have to have a better coffee. When people play 60 frames or 120 frames, they can't go backwards. They can't go back to the 60. They can't go back to the 30 frame. James says, dump the console frames, get a PC. If only 30 on console, it will be playing on my PC. Jason says, it does matter. It makes input response time faster. When I set my Marvel Rivals to 120 frames per second, I noticed that inputs were also much more response, and I could react better thing. Cliff says, especially if the Souls game is running at 60 frames, makes the animation so smooth for dodging a lot better. 100%. 100%. Here's the thing, though. Sort of like when people used to play on 720p television and then 1080p, if they never had a 1080p, they wouldn't know the difference. Do you know what I mean? If you've never played a 60 frames per second game and knew you were playing a 60-second frame game, most people can't tell. Most people can't tell. Most people are like Travis, okay? They can't tell the difference. But if they have and played it, they'll be like, oh, something off about it. They wouldn't know. Well, it says, just like a bear. Went from Germany can't have American crap, only micro brews, and imported for me. Yeah, same thing. There's always that thing. Crowd says, Destiny 1 hurts my eyes when I went back to it. Yeah, because once it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. Once you go that way, you're like, there's something off. Now, if you didn't know it was frames, right, Crowded? If you didn't know it was the frames that were the problem, and you just played Destiny 1 and you played Destiny 2 and you weren't a tech guy, you didn't know anything about frames per second, you would play it and go, something's off. Now, you might, not saying you, but people might look at that and go, oh, it's an older game, so it just doesn't run as smooth. That would be the generic, like, toss away, right? But it's smoother because they optimized it for a higher frame rate. So when you play it, right, you're like, oh, man, it's much smoother. And when you go back to the old one, you're like, it's off. Now we'll have Travis, he's typing right now. He'll probably say, oh, it doesn't matter because Destiny's a crap game.
Update again. Welcome to the world that never ends. Run, escape, open doors and no one. Browse a world.